Hello everybody. In this video I would like to show you how you can improve and manipulate drum loops and drum sounds with the SPL Transient Designer and the SPL Vitalizer plugins. So the first thing I'm going to do is open the session I'm working on. There we go. Now in order to facilitate working with a lot of these drum loops that are working simultaneously, I'm going to open the edit window and I'm going to stop the track and highlight only a part of the song and put Pro Tools into loop mode so we can have continuous playback and listen to the same part over and over again without any dropouts or pauses, so we can work on that part of the song. Now in order to put one plugin on all the drum tracks, which you see in purple or red here, I had to do a little preparation. To show you, let me first solo all the drums and the drum group. Because what I've done is I've put all of the drum tracks into one auxiliary bus, which you can see here on the right. So I can put one or two plugins on all of the drums at the same time. The only thing I have left out is this dance kick drum, which is a single track, which I want to manipulate and work with separate from the rest. So I'm going to take that one out of the mix again, and I'm going to open the Transient Designer plugin, which is now summed on all the drum tracks. Now as you can see, the Transient Designer is a very simple plugin with only a few controls. It has an attack and a sustain control, an output gain control, and a few buttons. Now the first button I'm going to deal with is the link button. Since we're dealing with a stereo sum, the link button ensures that no matter how loud the individual two channels of the stereo sum are, the loudest signal will control the reaction of the Transient Designer. If the link button is not activated, the left and right channel are processed independently according to their individual levels. So, let's start with the attack control. The attack control amplifies or attenuates the attack of a signal by up to 15 dB. It emphasizes or enhances the attack or takes it away, according to what you need. Let me just show you what that sounds like by turning the knob. Now with the attack all the way cranked, you can see how much gain it has added to the track. It's almost pumping as if it was compressed. Now this is of course not a setting that I want to have, but for the example, I wanted to show you. Now of course I can also take attack away, and this sounds like this. Now the drums have almost no attack at all. Let me show you the same with the sustain control. I'm going to add sustain all the way. That is crazy. Or I'm going to take all the sustain away. Now there is as little sustain as possible in the drum tracks. It sounds almost gated. Now what I want to have is I want to have a little less sustain to make it more percussive and precise. Actually quite a bit less, and then add some attack to make it more punchy. Now of course the overload LED is lighting up because adding attack has added some gain, and I'm going to take the gain away again with the output gain control. And now I can easily compare the sound of the drum tracks from before and after the Transient Designer with the on button. Let me turn it off. This is the original, and I'll turn it on again. This is what we've done. I'll turn it off again. And on. So that was step number one. Step number two I want to do is I want to take the SPL Vitalizer MK2 plugin. There we go. And I want to widen the drum tracks with the stereo expander. This is making the stereo image of the drum tracks really wide, leaving a lot of space for all the other instruments. So the next thing I'm going to do is add some high frequencies with the mid-high processor. and select the correct frequency with the mid-high tune. That sounds really great. Now the third thing I'm going to do is I'm going to unsolo the dance kick drum that was in the solo track, and I'm going to open another Transient Designer just for that drum track. And in this case, I'm going to take away some sustain as well to make the drums sound a little shorter. And compare. Now just take a tad more away and add a tad of attack, just to help it cut through the mix a little better. Now I want to listen to the loops from before, so I'm going to mute and bypass all of those plugins. This is the original sound of all the drum tracks together. And now I turn all the plugins on again. It sounds a lot more precise and more percussive. Now, of course, there's a ton of things you can do with these plugins. You can automate them and make them almost sound like a filter sweep, or you can put them on any other instrument and just try out what they can do for you. There is an almost unlimited number of applications for the Transient Designer, the Stereo Vitalizer, and all the other plugins that SPL make. So if you want to find out more about the SPL plugins, you can go online to www.spl.info. You can download the plugins and their manuals there, and you can test them for 14 days without any restrictions or limitations and find out what they can do for your music and your mixes. So thanks for tuning in and listening. Have a lot of fun making music and experimenting around. And until next time, hope to see you again. Bye-bye.